Well, folks, I'm kind of glad that we have a little bit of a different topic today because, look, we've been roaring in the holidays here for Nintendo Switch 2 the last few months, and we're going to keep roaring into the new year because, yes, again, I have a source that says Nintendo Switch 2 is being revealed next month. Now, setting that aside, though, we're actually talking about the Wind Waker. Now, we've been talking about the Wind Waker a long time, right? The Wind Waker HD been rumored for like 2 years at this point, maybe even 3. It's so hard for me to remember at this point because there's been so many rumors on this from all the different journalists out there. I believe Andy Robinson says something at some point, so did Jeff Grubb and others. And really, it's kind of a not well-kept secret that, hey, the Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, they were on Wii U, and now with Xenoblade Chronicles X coming over, there's not a whole lot left from that system to not come over, besides the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. But it looks like we have some reasons to believe, thanks to Nintendo themselves, something Nintendo did now suggests that the Wind Waker HD might finally be happening, and at this point, maybe even revealed in that rumored February Direct. Oh, baby, baby, baby. If you've been waiting for Wind Waker HD, this might finally be the sign we've been waiting for, because this isn't coming from some random person out in the universe. This is actually something that happened on one of Nintendo's websites. Let's go ahead and dive in. As a reminder, we're on the road to 140,000 subscribers. And if you want to stay up to date on Nintendo, Switch 2, and everything else, all you got to do is subscribe right here for that new year coming up of 2025. All right, let's go ahead and look at this because, bam, we're over at Nintendo Soup. They'd have the full details here. It says, rumor, Korean Legend of Zelda timeline. That's right. The timeline of Zelda sparks speculation that Wind Waker may be coming to Switch. All right, so let's just go right into it because it's these tweets out here from Pixel. So it says, since the release of the Switch, however, any Zelda games have been consistently translated officially in Korea, including Hyrule Warriors, which was originally a Wii U game. Why is this relevant? Because Nintendo of Korea's own website showing a timeline of all Zelda games, but crucially, games that had a Korean translation use their Korean names, those who didn't use English. So if you're not understanding what that means, on the Korean website for The Legend of Zelda timeline, if the game doesn't have a local Korean translation, they display it in English. If it does have a Korean translation, it's displayed in the local language. Now, this matters because there is, at this time, in none of the releases of the Wind Waker, which are two, a Korean language option. So there is no Korean language option, but Korean languages started getting added in on Nintendo Switch. So every Zelda game that's released on Switch has added a Korean language option. Wind Waker's not on Switch yet. So why does that suddenly, and I mean suddenly, this isn't something that's just been sitting there for years, suddenly change on the Korean website? Well, we have to keep going. So he got the images here. We'll show those on screen already. And it says, this isn't a one-off either, as this panel from the official Zelda fan event for Echoes of Wisdom shows the same mistake. This is from Echoes of Wisdom a bit earlier this year. Now, he says this could suggest two things. They did start translating the Korean Wind Waker for Wii U, but it was never released. Sure, possible. However, as noted, literally earlier this year, it was in English. So kind of weird. Or there is, in fact, a Nintendo Switch port of Wind Waker because they've consistently translating games in Korean, and this accidentally slipped through. So if we go look at just the images here, I just want to show you guys what's going on here. So you can obviously see that here's the Korean website. You see Spirit Tracks is right there in English on the left. And then here you can see, obviously, it being put into Korean as well. Now, as we go down here, it said this mistake has been corrected since they now show the English name. So this is very interesting as well, because what happened is they put it in the Korean language and then they fixed it. Now, why did they fix it? What happened? Did something slip through the cracks and Nintendo took notice? That is a fun thing to think about. So let's go back to the account here and scroll down here. So they corrected it once it was pointed out. Kind of crazy that once it was pointed out, they corrected it. But if we go to this post here, you can see this isn't like a one-off situation. See all the names there in English. Some of the ones in Korean, the ones in English are not in Korean. And again, here's Wind Waker in Korean again. To me, this is wild. Obviously, it's a bit of a theory crafting, but also, look, Nintendo does have slip-ups once in a while. It's not super crazy often. but it does. Now, somebody, just for context, does point out that there seems to be another weird exception going on, and this has to do with Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. So this person responded and said Phantom Hourglass is also translated, whereas Spirit Tracks isn't. PHP being a direct sequel to The Wind Waker, which is also fascinating because what if this one being Spirit Tracks, they're maybe looking to pair Spirit Tracks with The Wind Waker, or in this case, Phantom Hourglass with The Wind Waker. I do find that interesting because we've been talking a long time about how they could bundle Twilight Princess and The Wind Waker HD together, but maybe they went in a different direction, said, no, let's bundle The Wind Waker with Phantom Hourglass. That would be a very interesting bundle to bring together, and also it could become a bigger deal because Phantom Hourglass would obviously be HDified for the first time. So just throwing out there that this is some pretty wild stuff, and I'm really excited for it. I don't know about you. I obviously am not someone that replays games a lot, but I do tend to at least try out the Zelda games whenever something significant happens to them. As an example, I did try out Skyward Sword HD with its newfangled right control stick controls. Absolutely hated it. I prefer the motion controls, especially the ones with the original Wii version of the game. The ones on Switch are fine, but the ones on the original Wii were significantly better in my opinion. But I do tend to try out things when there's major changes. And when there's not major changes, like the upcoming Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, I'm just not going to pick it up. It just isn't worth my time to recheck out something I've already beat. In fact, I already 100% it returns. So I just don't have a reason to return, ironically, to such a game. Same with Xenoblade Chronicles, although Xenoblade Chronicles X, they put some new story content in, which is very tempting. I might end up buying the game, but I don't know if I'm going to actually play it. That game takes, I think it took me over 300 hours to beat the game originally. I don't want to just think that kind of time into that right now, especially with Switch 2 and all that stuff on the horizon. I'm playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle right now on Xbox Game Pass. My Series X behind me, and I'm having a good time. It's a good game, especially if you love Indiana Jones. I mean, we're looking for a good Indiana Jones story. We finally got one, so thank you, Machine Games and all the rest, for actually doing right. Troy Baker as well. Like, I know Troy Baker gets a lot of accolades, but dude, young Harrison Ford, he nailed the voice. I would swear Harrison Ford de-aged himself 50 years, and it's actually him doing the voice acting. Troy Baker, you nailed that role. That being said, guys, I'm pretty excited about all this Zelda goodness. So the question is obviously, what do you want to see from The Wind Waker? What do you want to see from Phantom Hourglass? And do you think that these games are actually coming next year and that this change at the website is really a change? Because this has the potential to actually be a leak from Nintendo, an unintended thing put out there that they've now corrected. But hey, too late. The internet is what it is. It's already been caught. There's web archive versions of it. Yeah, good luck trying to hide that, Nintendo. So I do think that that's interesting to think about. I also wonder if that's the game for next year, what's the deal with this Breath of the Wild 4K thing that has been talked about in the past? Is that maybe just a demo that's never going to come out? Is that something they're going to save? Would they possibly release multiple Zelda titles, Zelda remakes and stuff, Zelda ports in the same year? Nintendo technically doesn't do that, but would they consider doing that this time? Or maybe that Breath of the Wild 4K thing isn't really a re-release, but rather just a free update for Breath of the Wild. I guess that could make sense, as well as maybe there's some 4K updates for certain Switch games. That would be a selling point, by the way, if there are 4K updates for certain Switch games on Switch 2. So maybe we're going to get both in that light. Who knows? Obviously, we also have those realistic belief, I think, that there is something Ocarina of Time remake in the work, Ocarina of Time HD. It just might not be next year. They might be saving that for something like 2026, maybe towards the end of 2026 when we're closer to the Zelda movie. So I could see that maybe getting saved. So as much as I'd want that to be next year, I kind of feel like maybe that's a couple of years off, and it would be a pretty big, ambitious project. Anyways, even if Nintendo's not, especially if Nintendo's not developing that in-house, which they might not be. Maybe Tantalus or Grezzo or somebody else is putting in the work on a project like that. Meanwhile, hey, we've been banking up Wind Waker. Why not throw some Phantom Hourglass love with it and drop it on the damn eShop and in physical version? Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about all this stuff down in the comments below. I am Nathaniel Robojets from Nintendo Prime, and you know what? Yes, folks, we'll do a bonus stream tonight because I'm feeling frisky, everybody. Wait, if I'm feeling frisky, then why am I doing a stream? That was the wrong term. I'm excited. I'll see you guys tonight.